this stuff out of the way.
Good morning again. So today we are having our affiliate presentation, Real Estate 411, and we will start off, they're going to have about 5 minutes each. There will be a question and answer period at the end of all the presentations. So we will start off with Nancy Chan, lawyer's title.
Thank you, Richard.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nancy Chan, lawyer's title. Been doing title for 37 years. I think that's 1982. I was 10 years old. Question. You know, in this industry, a lot of you know me, a lot of you don't. What we do as title people, we're the one that's safeguarding your transaction. So you don't get into a lawsuit, escrow is clear. And the reason that we do that, right now, we see a lot of issues with agents coming up with trust, family trust. We're talking about revocable living trust, not the non-revocable. So it's very popular now. Everybody wants to go into it. Trust, as agents, you have to understand, it's not an individual thing. Now it's an entity, just like your LLC incorporation. You don't own the property anymore when you rent it in the trust. The trustee, the manager, just like a company, the trustee now is in charge of your property. Does that make sense? So, listing agent, if you're getting a listing that the title is under a trust, it is better and it's important that you ask the seller to see a copy of the trust, because we want to verify who has a right to sign. And people tell me, Nancy, you've been in business a long time, how come you can't find the trust? Trust is a private document. It can consist of property, your 401k, your life insurance, other financial or valuable things. For example, somebody that showed me a trust and I didn't disclose it, they own a collection of antique guns and paintings and jewelry. And can you imagine if we record that? Everybody would know Richard has a Picasso in his living room. Yeah, I know. We're going to go wrong. So, yeah, that's why the trust is not recorded. But we're looking only at the portions that has something to do with real estate. So a lot of people, especially conservative sellers, they don't want to let you see the whole trust or let me take the whole trust. So what happens is, it's good to just take the portion of their names, okay, who owns the trust and the date and the signature page. And also, if the property is included in the trust. Those are the pages that we need to look at, okay? And when we get the trust, we know who can sign. So escrow knows how to type up the paperwork. Does that make sense? If I'm not the trustee or the owner of the trust, I have no right to transfer this property to the buyer. So that needs to be verified. And I had an incident that happened yesterday. Luckily, they gave me the trust. They're going to open escrow tomorrow. And a couple are trustee of the trust. But in there, it says and or, either one of them. They both can sign or one of them can sign. And unfortunately, that was something that I am glad that I got a hold of, because as one of the seller, the husband is in Hong Kong. So now only the wife has to sign. So we're not in the rush trying to verify that at the end. A lot of the elderly people, the reason I want you to ask for the trust when you take the listing, they forgot where to put the trust. They can't find the trust. So when you ask them to look for it early, you give them more time to look for it. Okay. Also, one more thing: if you own a trust, both trustees, they're still alive. When they grant it to the property into the trust, they usually say the trustees, who's a trustee of the trust, and date at a certain date. If both of them are alive, I don't need the trust. If one of them passed away, I will need the trust. Who else can sign for them as successor of the trust? So these things are a little complicated. That's why I'm always here. I have an open channel to talk to the title company, talk to your escrow, see what you need to be prepared of from the beginning. So you're not, delaying the transaction. Some of the cash offer comes in. I have one that's 12 days. It was an exchange. They're buying an apartment. The apartment holder is a trust. So I'm glad I have that trust. a month ahead of time. So thank you very much. I think I'm running out of time. My boss is telling me, and thank you very much for your support, and I welcome your questions. Ooh, it's fading out. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Very, very good. Very informative. Next coming up, Horatio Garfield, Home Buyers Protection Group.
Good morning, everybody. Morning. Horatio, I'm just going to keep it simple. Basically, what I'm here for is to help you find your clients a house that they can call a home. Now, what do I mean by that? Trust me, sooner or later, defects will come up. You know, who do you think they're going to call first? The seller, the listing agent? They're going to call you, and you'll probably moved on to the next client. I mean, it's best to hire somebody that is going to come in and take a very good look at the entire property from bottom to top. That there's not going to be any strange issues at the end once your client has moved in. Now, how do I do that? We check roof structure, foundation, plumbing, electrical, and central AC and furnace. Whenever possible, I go into the crawl spaces, check the plumbing, check the foundation. If there's any cracks, if the structure is bolted to the foundation, all these items that you want to know, that your client wants to know. I mean, I've been into properties where I go into the crawl spaces, and instead of seeing pipes, I see hoses. You know, your garden hose. You know, sooner or later, that's going to burst. You know, your client is going to be calling someone. So it's best to just get to know what it is that you're putting your client in, so they'll make a very good decision. So you can turn this client into a source of other clients. You know, they're going to tell, you know, their families, their friends, hey, you know what, I have this very good agent. He, you know, pulled me out of this money pit. You know, I was going to be putting in so much money into the plumbing, into the foundation, but he brought in a very good inspector. They gave us a very thorough report. So it's best to just be out up front with your clients, because nowadays, anything could happen. All right, thank you.
Very good. That was short and sweet and to the point. Next up, I'd like to call James Chen, State Farm Insurance.
Thank you, Richard. Good morning, everybody. My name is James Chen. Good morning. I'm your good neighbor, State Farm agent in El Monte. Some of you may know my wife as well. She's an agent in the city of Walnut. We're both State Farm agents. Well, one thing very, very important is that I highly encourage everybody to speak with their insurance agent, no matter who it may be. Because when was the last time you've had your policies reviewed? Things change from time to time, correct? Starting out family, having kids, your needs going to be completely different than a single person. Or I can can you imagine having teenage children getting behind the wheels? Those needs are going to be inherently different. Keep in mind, state of California minimum car insurance coverage is at $15,000 for liability. That means in case of an accident, the insurance carrier will only cover up to $15,000 if you choose the state minimum. And it's $5,000 for property damage. So $5,000, if you, knock on wood, got into an accident, hit a Honda Accord, those chances are the coverage is going to exceed that $5,000. So double check, see what you have, because so many different carriers will just sell you the minimum coverage, not knowing what you may have. And the word full coverage is probably the most misused word in the whole insurance language, because full coverage, one may entail or think that it covers everything that may happen in the course of an accident. But like I said, with the minimum coverages, if you choose the minimum coverage and you have coverage for your own vehicle, a carrier may call that full coverage because it covers your vehicle and it covers the liability that you need in the state of California. So don't get yourself into that kind of trouble, because if an accident occurs in California, there are more injury lawyers in the state of California alone than there are in all 49 states. It's just because people in California like to sue, and there's a lot of lawyers to help them sue. And people don't sue for $10,000, $5,000. They like to sue for $100,000. $1 million in coverage. So keep yourself protected. I'm an agent in El Monte. There's a lot of great agents here in our affiliate panel. Leticia Palmas of Allstate. Leticia, please stand up. Let everyone know who you are.
Thank you.
And then I saw Mark Wu here somewhere too. So.
He's in the...
Okay, Mark Wu, another great agent. So I highly encourage you, go out, reach out to these agents here because they can help you. 5 minutes of your time, 10 minutes it may be, can save you tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So avoid that trouble. Talk to one of your local agents. Thank you.
Secrets here. Thank you very much, James. Next up, I want to call Maria Howard, Old Republic Home Protection. Or is it Stephanie?
Stephanie.
Sorry. They had it
She
wrong.
gets more than attention.
Good morning, everyone. It's so great to see you here. My name is Stephanie. I'm with Old Republic Home Protection. I have been with Home Warranty for 14 years. We are the third largest home warranty company nationwide, and we have a lot of tenure with the company. You know, home warranty is such an important part of a transaction, and definitely when you represent buyers, please, please, please make sure that you get your buyers a home warranty. And not just the standard coverage and air conditioning, get them the most comprehensive coverage that that home warranty company has to offer. It's such an important role and part. And what you don't want to do is have your buyers turn around and say, hey, you only got me the medium package. How come you didn't get me the best package? You always want to make sure that you cross your T's and dot your I's. I'm happy to say that Old Republic has so many great coverages and marketing tools to offer. You know, in our best package, we offer the buyers up to $1,000 towards modifications. Why would you think modifications are important? Well, when we're replacing a major system, your buyers will have out-of-pocket cost of modifications. Could be new gas lines, water lines, plenum, whatever it is, an old system we're changing out, a condenser, a compressor, there will be modifications. So you want to make sure that those $1,000, it doesn't come out of your buyer's pocket, it comes from home warranty. We also offer coverage up to $250 to go towards stoppages due to roots. You know, a lot of times we all think about what's above, you know, ground, but you never think about what's below ground. You know, I think it's important to make sure that, again, when you're representing buyers, why not get a licensed plumber out there to make sure that there's no roots in a line? A lot of homes, older homes, have a lot of mature landscaping in the front yard, and those roots, not knowing, could really cause major damage in the front yard. So, or in those plumbing lines. So make sure that, you know, you go the extra step. Let's talk about air conditioning units. You know, these are all just recommendations, but, you know, a licensed inspector, or I should say an inspector, they do simple mechanical tests and they're great at what they do. But it's important to make sure you take that next step. Maybe get a licensed HVAC technician out to the property to make sure that there's no holes in the ductwork, that there's no leaks in the lines, that everything is in good working order, because that's a really important major system in the home. And there's things that you can negotiate with the seller during the inspection period, then find out after that it was something that wasn't covered. We have great marketing materials online, free for you to use. All you have to do is give me a call. We can sit down. I'm happy to go over coverage, marketing tools, answer any questions that you have, and look forward to working with all of you. And I do have to say, I do have great affiliates that I work with in home warranty, and so reach out to home warranty reps and ask questions, because, you know, we're all different just like everybody else is. So thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you. Next up, Joanne Wong, Trans Global Lending.
Thank you, Richard. Hi, everyone. My name is Joanne. I'm from Trans Global Lending. Some of you might wondering, because I always introduce myself as your one-stop shop lender. So why do I introduce myself like this? Because as a one-stop shop lender, we are helping with our realtors with a conventional loan, with a portfolio loan, and also with some of our the portfolio loan and private lending and even some commercial lending. So today, I just want to share some of our niche program, which is our investor program. But before I share this program, I want to share some story with everyone. So I'm currently working with this couple, a great couple. They are retired and they have an excellent credit score, and they have a couple property. So something happened in their family, so they need some emergency fund. But because they are retired and they don't have some other income besides some social security and also some of their rental income, so they couldn't get the refinance with some traditional loan. So they found me, and because of this investor program, I was able to qualify them and use this investor program to helping them to getting some of the fund they really need with their family. So with this investor program, what that means is we don't check their income documentation. So all we need is really just checking their rental income. So we using their rental income to qualify them. So as long as this rental income to meet their PITI monthly payment, then we'll qualify them. And of course, there's the credit score requirement. We require them have a minimum credit score of 720. So because of this program, because of this kind of niche program, we were able to helping family like this, and we are funding next week. And also, some of other the scenario I've been hearing is, like I say, because we are in San Gabriel Valley and we have a lot of foreign national borrower. And the biggest challenge they face in these days is they cannot bring the fund to the U.S. So we can also using this program to helping the foreign national, because we only require 3 months reserve, and because they are foreign national, we don't check in their credit score. And also, if they buy a property, if they buy investment property in U.S. and we only thing we check is their rental incomes. For example, if they buy a property in Arcadia and for about $500,000, and we'll check their monthly the rental income. If the rental income is to cover their monthly PITI payment, and they will qualify. So if you have any question, please reach out to me. My name is Joanne, and I'll be happy to helping everybody. Thank you.
Very good, thank you, Joanne. And last but not least, Victor Wu, Stearns Lending.
Good morning, everyone. Morning. So I got rest for the meeting for me?
Oh yeah.
All right.
You got 45 minutes.
There you go. I was joking. Actually, I have a PowerPoint prepared, but that's going to last for about 2 hours, so we're going to skip that. Anyway, I have prepared some flyers, some materials. Those are more details about our company and some of the stuff we do. So if you don't have it, let me know. I still have a warrant right there. Just real quick, my name is Victor. I'm with the Stearns Lending, which is we are a national lender. We are a direct lender. Myself, I'm in the position branch manager with Dublin Bar, and our company started about 1989, and myself, I started in business about 1987. So, been in business for a while, and Stearns Lending, we are not just retail direct lender only. We do have a different business channels such as wholesale, correspondent, and customer services side too. Now, just to give you a little bit of what we do. We do conventional, as we know, the conforming, government loans such as FHA, VA, jumbo loans, and also that we do offer some specialty loans such as portfolio loans, foreign national, some of the non-document, alternative documents loans as well. Now, real quick, now, been in business for many years already, and one of the reasons I'm choosing to work with join Stearns is simply because the model they have is more of, they understand how realtor and real estate, the dynamic, and also the importance of the transactions. So instead of, we ask you, how can we help you? You're gonna see that when we call your company or or a service, the answer will be, we can help you. That's the attitude we have, and from the top to the end. So we would like to keep that and always keep that in mind. Now, the few reasons I think that will really help to actually for you to decide to work with us or anyone. Number one thing is that experience. The experience with the clients, we want to make sure the client has a good experience. No, so that way, not that we can give it a more of what do you call that? A smooth transaction, a less hassle transaction feeling. Also, that help you to deepen the relationship with the client. The other thing is that we know that it's very important that we can close and close on time and essentially follow through everything we could in the very beginning of it. So we are, from the top to the bottom, we are actually taking accountability of every single file and transaction process. So we go by the timeline of when that every contingency need to meet, and also the closing time. So those are very important to us. Now, to do that, there's a lot of things we need to do. One of the important things, which I think every one of you is doing that right now, is pre-approval. We take pre-approval very seriously, simply because we know that once pre-approval is done, next thing, the client, the agent expecting to have the file closed as soon as possible. They don't expect any kind of surprises right at the very end. So that's one thing we take very seriously. We like to get those done way ahead of time. So that way, when you found the property, only thing you really have to worry about is the appraisal, the title, the escrow, then you're done with it. That's what we like to do, the thing that we would like to do. Now, also that the programs we have. Now, as I mentioned before, that we have a lot of different programs. Conventional, government, we got all kinds. Now, there's a lot of different ones you probably don't know, you're probably aware of it, such as renovation loans, 203K. Those could be a refinance or purchase, which can help you. For some of the clients, they just start up their own house, own home, but they are probably not able to buy into probably at this price, at this area, or at this time. So they probably choose something more of fixed offers, but they need some repair, but need to have financing that into the purchase. So 203K could be a good tool that we do that as well. Now, okay. So real quick, for some of the stuff we have on the material I gave it to you, you're going to see that also that on the very back of it, there's something for you to take away is the current loan amount. That could be a reference for you, very good reference for you. So take a look at it. Any questions, you can call. I'm working 7 days a week and just phone call away. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Victor. So at this point, what I want to do is open it up for Q&A. Anybody have any questions for any of our panelists? Any other questions? Crickets. David.
Speak up. Okay, this one is, I have a question for Horacio, the home inspector. I'm kind of curious for many years, if a home has a raised foundation, I kind of wonder how many claw holes do they have? When you do the inspection, do you have to go through the claw hole to check what's underneath? What if the claw hole, what's the standard size for a claw hole? What happens if the claw hole is too small? How are you going to get it?
Call you.
That's actually a very good question. We follow ASHI standards, the American Society of Home Inspectors, and per the standards, the height of the axis needs to be 1.5 feet by 2 feet wide. So that's basically 18 by 1.5, I think. So basically, I'm a lot smaller than that. I could fit in a very smaller area. And I just inspected this 100-year home in Arcadia, where the axis was a lot smaller than that. I do my best to exceed the standards, and I do go in spaces whenever possible. And I did go into this one house, which was 100 years old. I was interested because obviously homes that are old, you could have problems down there. So I did my best to enter, and I do take a lot of pictures down there. So everything I see, you will be seeing. I checked to see if there was foundation retrofitting, obviously on a 100-year home. Typically it's not, and this house was, so I was able to bring that information back to the buyer.
Mario, you got a question?
This one is for Horacio too. For retrofitting, once they retrofit a house and you inspect it, do they have to redo the retrofitting every so often, or is just permanent for a long?
It's permanent if it was done per standards. Obviously, something that's important like that, your retrofit contractor needs to follow, guidance by the city, and if they did it properly. So if it wasn't done properly, let's say they used plates that were not the retrofit Simpson type retrofits, they would have to redo it, something like that. But obviously, you would have to follow up with the city to see what the requirements. Typically, the most common is Simpson ties. They put in some plates holding the wood down to the foundation, which is made out of concrete. And they're placed typically a certain distance, usually it's about 3 feet from one to the other.
Which brings a question to what you just said. Codes change every so often because of construction.
Correct.
So if this was put, say, 15 years ago, well, so few things have changed. You go and inspect and it goes, how do you deal with that when, most recent codes are no longer how it used to be? And I think they change every so often.
And you're absolutely right. Our inspection is obviously we try to follow today's standards. And if there's anything that is not per today's standards, we'll bring it up to the homeowner's attention. Obviously, it's their decision whether to bring it up to current code standards. Our responsibility is to disclose the condition of the home, not whether it needs to be retrofitted or not, or if it needs to be brought to current code standards. Obviously, there's some minimum code standards that the city requires. It is impossible for us to know every single city's code, codes of the standards that they have, but we bring it up to their attention. You know what? The house is retrofitted, although it is not per today's standards. It is up to you whether you want to bring it up to today's standards, but it's already retrofitted for when the house was built.
Thank you, Rachel. Yes, ma'am.
This question, I think, is it James?
James Chen.
You offer, you didn't talk too much about the home buyer's insurance or the homeowner's insurance. You offer both?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, homeowners and auto insurance, we are State Farm #1 in homeowners for almost 90 years, likewise with auto insurance. We do offer both, and you get discounted savings when you bundle the two together as well. Joey, you have a question?
Yes, a question for you as well, James. If property has a claim on it before an insurance company has paid it out, for a new buyer to assume the property, typically the policy rate will increase a little bit because there was a previous claim on the property. Is there any wiggle room?
No, it will not affect the new home buyer because the claim follows the insured. So the negligence, if it was on the prior homeowner, does not affect the new homeowner. If it's been fixed, then the new home buyer has a clear zero claim record.
Okay, because I have a situation where we recently closed escrow, they've already issued out a policy, and then now they turn around and they say they have to increase the premium because of a previous claim on the property that they had paid out.
Not at State Farm. It will not affect the new home buyer's rates at all.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
This question is for Nancy. For the trust, when they only let you see part of the trust regarding the house, you say signature, they let you see that, but they don't want to see you to see the whole thing. Is that okay?
It's okay. We're only concerned is the property they're selling. If it's included in the trust, and they're the trustee who has a right to sign the transfer the property, and we verify the signature. So I have people that give me a copy of it without the signature, but they will give it to me later. But at least I can look at the owners of the trust, and if it's granted in trust, things like that will be verified. So the rest of the stuff, I don't need to see it. Okay? Thank you.
Yes, David?
I have a question for James. If a homeowner files a claim on water damage and then later sells the house to a new homeowner, is that going to affect the new homeowner in terms of insurance?
No, that sounds very similar to the question Josephine had inquired about. It does not affect the new buyer because it's been fixed prior to, so that would not affect the new buyer. It has no effect on the rate.
As it goes with the property address?
No, because the property gets fixed. So after the claim is repaired, because insurance State Farm, we're here to indemnify, meaning fix what had occurred. The damage is fixed back to new, if not better, with the new state codes, newer equipment and everything. So it's understood that home that is being moved into has been fixed better than it might have been prior to that accident. So it will not affect the new home buyer whatsoever.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
If this seller buy another house, will the insurance company go to this guy's old record that, oh, you claimed something before the previous house? Would that be kept up his insurance premium for the buying the new house?
The claim will follow the insured, the person. So, correct. If there's a claim record for that person, if it's a primary residence, it will follow them. If it's a rental, it will not follow them. If it was a rental property, things of that nature. But if they're the primary homeowner and then they're moving to a new location, that claim will follow that homeowner.
Yes, Sylvia.
You can help us understand the purpose of that. Why does it follow the previous owner when he no longer owns it? Is it because maybe they'll commit fraud on the following ones or what?
Not necessarily fraud, because accidents, they follow the person that made that claim. If I could draw an analogy, like if a person got into an auto claim, it's the person who was driving that caused the accident, not the car. So the driver will carry that claim record with them. The owner of the next car will not have a claim because that car was been in an accident. Does that make sense, if that's an analogy?
No, because it is a house, not a car, so it's
Well, the claim, the record follows the person that filed the claim, that was at fault in the claim. So if the homeowner filed the claim, then they're the one that may have, could have looked over the home, may have prevented it. Unfortunately, when they did file the home, it was under their care and supervision. So that follows the homeowner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And I want to thank each and every one of our panelists. I think we had a great panel. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.